Hello and welcome back to Pro Tour Austin. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David-Marshall. 417 people came to Texas with their eyes on that $40,000 first prize. We've got 8 left and wow, this top 8 is outstanding.
We have the front 2 players in the Player of the Year race in the top 8. We talked about coming into this tournament how we were hoping that this event would give us a little clarity about who's going to win Player of the Year in a race that is one of the most hotly contested races we've seen in many, many years.
The top 6 were 8 points apart between them. So what we know now is that Yuya Watanabe through to this top 8. He was the leader coming in. He's into this top 8. So now might be opening up a lead, except here comes Martin Yusa. Already by making this top 8 has leapfrogged from 6th up to 2nd. Could still take the lead depending on how well he does tomorrow.
Martin Yusa said he was going to win this tournament around the 3rd or 4th round of this, and he said, Yuya Watanabe, I'm coming for you. He said he knew who he had to pass to get the title.
That could be our final.
It could very easily be our final. Yeah, the marquee players in this top 8 are spread out across the brackets.
Yeah. And don't forget Paulo Vitor Dama de Rosa. Paulo came in 8th in the Player of the Year race. He's made this top 8, so he's 7th now. He can get as high as 2nd with a win here tomorrow.
Yeah, the race has really bunched up. We've got a couple guys in the lead, but below them there's really a scrum.
Right, so Watanabe 62 plus, then it goes Yusa 54 plus, Saito 51, Nassif 50, LSV 48, Shuhei 48, Mitamura 44.
Yeah, Mitamura got a nice 7-point chunk this weekend to follow up on his Honolulu win.
No, he was saying, that's definitely has bunched up there, but we'll see what Watanabe does, we'll see what Yusa does. Top 2 guys in the Player of the Year race, opposite sides of the bracket tomorrow. That's set up to be potentially awesome. But that's not it. But wait, there's more. Not only do we have those guys in the top 8, Brian Kibler is back. He's gone back-to-back. He ran the table on day 1 of Honolulu, made that top 8, but a quarterfinal exit. Runs the table on day 1 again here this weekend, back to the top 8 again. Can he actually get the job done this time?
I don't know. We're watching something really historic. We were teasing him. We said, oh, you've only made 2 top 8s in the last 4 years. He's only played in 2 Pro Tours in the last 4 years.
Yes.
So, and he's got an interesting rematch. He's looking for a little vindication. He dropped 1 extended match this weekend.
Yeah, of 10.
He dropped to Greek player. We've been calling him Van or EPAP.
Evangelos Papatsarokis.
Playing Hypergenesis. One of the highly touted decks coming into this tournament. Kibler, it's been pointed out that Kibler may or may not have been able to win all 3 games he played against Evangelos had he sort of
played a little different.
In hindsight, certainly.
Now, it is tough to win after Hypergenesis resolves, but it actually looks like Brian could have. He could have won game 2, he could have won game 3. It was kind of crazy. He was a little on tilt, I think, because he had a turn 2 Meddling Mage. That's his sideboard package against Hypergenesis. He boards in a land with an island in it that he can fetch out, and he boards in 4 Meddling Mages. Had turn 2 Meddling Mage queued up on the play. Oh, Van goes off turn 1. Simian Spirit Guide. Turn 1, Cascade spell into Hypergenesis. Down comes Progenitus, Titan, Sundering Titan. 2 Sundering Titans and a Progenitus. It's crazy. But Kibler could have beaten that, but no. Anyway, they're matched up again in the quarters. That should be fun. And here's the difference, in my opinion, between Kibler here versus Kibler in Honolulu. Honolulu was a draft top 8. And Kibler's run has really been fueled by his constructed performance.
Absolutely.
His constructed record at Pro Tours this year is 14-1-1. It's just ridiculous. 14-1. Does he have 2 losses or 1? 1 loss each?
I believe it's 1 loss each.
Fine. 13-2-1. Still just off the charts ridiculous constructed performance across those 16 rounds.
So I got a little pro tip for you at home. If you want to do well in a constructed event, make friends with Ben Rubin. Ben Rubin built what may very well be the constructed deck of this tournament.
There are 2 different amazing innovations. We're like, how do we name this deck? Is it Baneslayer Zoo? Is it Punishing Fire Zoo? Like, the Punishing Fire Burn Willows combination is outstanding. It's so good, and nobody else had it except that playtest crew.
Right. We briefly toyed with calling it Angel Fire Zoo, but we finally settled on Rubin Zoo.
Yeah, it's Ben Rubin. 2 different innovations.
And Rubin also built the deck from Honolulu. So,
yes, he did.
Hall of Fame ring has fueled some really interesting deck design there.
Oh, it's 17-2-1 with the constructed record, by the way. It's 20 rounds.
Wow.
17-2-1 is Kibler's run, and we'll see what he does tomorrow. Speaking of Hall of Famers, by the way, 2 different Hall of Famers barely missed this top 8. Rob Dougherty finished 9th, missing on tiebreakers. Raphael Levy finished loss to fall 2 points short of the line.
Fighting in that last round, heartbreaker.
Yeah,
a heartbreaker.
He wound up getting paired against Van and lost to the Hypergenesis deck. So the way the top 8 plays out, Tsuyoshi Ikeda is your 1 seed. Ikeda's no slouch. This is top 8 number 3 for Ikeda.
Right, and he's just off winning Grand Prix Niigata.
Absolutely.
And by the way, if you think the cowboy hat is just for Texas, this guy was wearing the cowboy hat in Niigata.
It's true. So Ikeda running a Spectral Procession Zoo deck. He plays against Paulo Vitor Damarosa in the quarters.
Which is a really interesting matchup because Paulo is playing Dark Depths.
Dark Depths.
And so one of the reasons that the Spectral Processions are in the Zoo deck is that's a 3-turn Time Walk against the Dark Depths Marit Lage token.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, 2020 flying indestructible, but you can race.
Block it with a 1/1, block it with a 1/1, block it with a 1/1.
That's a great point. The other matchup on that side of the bracket is Naoki Shimizu against Martin Yuza. Shimizu, Japanese often coverage reporter guy.
Absolutely.
Running a dredge deck that a number of the Japanese had a lot of success with. So he'll be playing against Yuza. Then Watanabe plays Hunter Burton. Hunter, I guess, the hometown hero.
Right, he's from Fort Worth.
A couple hours away.
Top 16 Grand Prix Seattle. Has a Grand Prix top 8 on his resume. And
I like his take on Zoo. His Zoo, Molten Zoo. He's like, you can play your guy. Molten Rain is outstanding. Some time walks, some damage. Those Molten Rains have been really good for him. He's also got a bunch of landfall in his deck. He's got both the links and also the GOP.
He hasn't been thrilled with the GOP.
They wind up in the sideboard for a lot of game 2s and 3s, but it's a nice take on Zoo, definitely. And then, like we said, Kibler versus Van in the other quarter. So just an outstanding top 8. It's been a great weekend so far. I'm really curious to see how this plays out. I actually feel like the decks we're going to have tomorrow are very representative of this field. 4 Zoo variants. Well, yeah, that was the most played deck by far when you add up all the different variants. 2 Dredge decks. That was the second most played deck when you add it up.
Right.
Okay, at Dark Depths and Hypergenesis. Those were the 2 new crazy decks that everybody was kind of, oh, what are we going to do about those things?
Right, so. We're a Thopter Foundry away from the full set.
Yeah, fair. So that's your story here from Austin. Brian and I will bring you this live streaming webcast. It'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. here local time in Texas. We'll have the pregame on, probably 10:45 or so. Going to be a fun one. I'm really curious to see what plays out. The Player of the Year race has been this awesome storyline all year long. First and second going at it. A bunch of veterans, a couple interesting new faces. Who's your pick? Give me a pick right now.
Martin Juza.
Yeah, Martin Juza. I respect that pick. I cannot go against the run that Yuya Watanabe's on. This may be his first top 8, but this guy really reminiscent of the run that Kai Bude put together when he went Grand Prix win, Grand Prix win, Grand Prix win before his first Pro Tour top 8, and then comes out, wins Worlds, takes over the game. Watanabe's first top 8 on the Pro Tour, but it's not going to be his last.
No, absolutely not.
People are already starting to whisper Bude.
Yeah, you heard that kind of murmuring up from the Japanese crowd as they were watching him, sitting around in the feature match area after he demolished someone, just playing out additional games for fun because he's having a blast.
Absolutely. Yuza Watanabe could be the final. That would be a lot of fun.
Head to the forums and tell us who you think.
Absolutely.
Head to the forums, tell us who you pick. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to say Brian Kibler.
He's fun to watch.
And he's playing great Magic.
Especially on the constructed side of things. It's been having a great weekend. Great year, really.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see how all this plays out. Talk to you then.